Hello, my name is Emma, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my December book haul. Now, in the month of December, I did buy more books than I normally would, but I realized that pretty much all of the books that I bought were at bargain prices, and at that, only one or two books I spent over $10 on. So I got some really great deals this month, which I'm very happy about, but I cannot wait to show you this haul. So I'm sure all of you either saw or partook in a lot of the Black Friday deals that some online book retailers were giving out. I decided to go to Half Priced Books, which is an online used bookstore, and I splurged a little bit because not only are they already inexpensive to begin with, but they had some great deals. So the first book I bought on Black Friday is Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. A lot of you have heard me talk about this book for years now, but I've never owned a final copy because I read an arc of it. So I thought I had no other choice than to finally splurge and get my final copy. Made You Up is all about a girl named Alex who has been dealing with schizophrenia for most of her life. She hasn't really had a ton of personal connections with people, and the one experience she feels where she really had a friend turns out to be a hallucination, as her mother claims. At the beginning of Made You Up, Alex transfers to a new school, and the first person she sees at her very first class of the day is none other than the boy whom she is believed has been a hallucination for her entire life. Made You Up really spoke to me as I have prior experience with psychosis, and this was the first ever form of media I have ever seen that touched on visual hallucinations where it really spoke to me. Most of you may have seen my video on books I changed my mind on, in which I included Made You Up because a few reviewers with schizophrenia had come to me and said that they didn't feel that this was proper representation. So if you want to check out more of my updated thoughts on this book, I will leave it below, but Made You Up still will always have a huge place in my heart. I do love it. I really identified with it, and it's a very special book to me. And the final two books that are a part of my very small Black Friday book haul are P.S. I Still Love You and Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han, which are books 2 and 3 in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. I had been wanting to continue with the series for an extremely long time because I read the first book when I was like 18 and I hadn't continued since, but I had just been pushing off getting the books for a while now, and Diversity Bingo prompted me to pick this up as it does follow a Korean American main character. So I finally decided to snag a few copies at a discounted price, and I have currently read P.S. I Still Love You. I picked it up on audiobook and I just like flew through it, and now I'm currently reading Always and Forever Lara Jean. I will for sure be talking more about P.S. I Still Love You in my December wrap up. Unfortunately, I didn't love it as much as the sequel. I liked the first book much more, and I'm enjoying the third book more as well. But the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series is definitely a super fun, light, contemporary read with some of my favorite family dynamics I've ever read about, and I'm super pleased I ended up continuing with them. So earlier this month, some of you may have seen my video where I went to blindfolded book shopping with my best friend Michael Bookline. If you haven't checked out that video, I will definitely link it below, but I will just show you those books again. So the first is None of the Above by I.W. Gregorio. The reason I picked this up this month is because I was blindfolded in a bookstore and I shot my hand out and I brought this one back, as goes for the rest of these few books, but I have been interested in None of the Above before because it does deal with an intersex main character. Our main character's name is Kristen, and for her entire life she has lived as a totally normal girl until one doctor's appointment leaves her with the knowledge that she is actually intersex, meaning that outwardly she might look like a girl, but she does have male chromosomes as well as some male parts. That news alone already propels her into a struggle for identity, but unfortunately that news was also leaked to the entire school, so it is no longer her personal secret. And I've had a lot of people recommend this to me over the years, and I'm definitely interested in reading it soon. The next book that I bought blindfolded is The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I do have a physical book of this, but I left it at Michael's house. So The Afterlife of Holly Chase is essentially a retold version of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, so it came at the perfect time for me to read it around Christmas. Our main character's name is Holly Chase, and she is just a terrible person. On the night of Christmas Eve, she's visited by the spirit of her recently deceased stepmother that tells her she will be visited by 3 spirits. And essentially it is like the same story of A Christmas Carol with the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. And at the end, Holly decides that she's not going to change anything about her life. She thinks that this is a total hoax, and the next morning she dies. After this experience, Holly is essentially recruited by this company called the Scrooge Project, where every year this company takes on one Scrooge and they try to learn more about them throughout the year so that on Christmas Eve they can present them with the opportunity to change their life to make an impact on the whole world. For the last 5 years, Holly has assumed the role of the ghost of Christmas past, and this year she takes on the case of a boy named Ethan Winters, who is only about 18 years old. Holly sees a lot of herself in him, and she she decides to deviate from her normal workload to get to know Ethan as a person. It is taking every ounce of my willpower to not completely gush about this book in this haul, because we're going to talk about it in my wrap up because I read it this month, but The Afterlife of Holly Chase is so freaking good. You absolutely have to read it, and that's all I'm going to say until my wrap up comes out. And the final book that I picked up blindfolded is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I also got very lucky with this blindfolded pick, as this is the Biblio Book Club's choice for our November through January book. I know this causes a lot of confusion for those of you who participate in the Bibliothon as well as the Biblio Book Club, but my book club, called the Biblio Book Club, we read one book every 3 months, and then we do a live show on the Buy No Bibliothon YouTube channel. It's totally separate from the readathon. So Renegades is our choice for November through January, so I am going to be reading it this month and discussing it with the rest of the group hosts. And so what I know about Renegades is it is also like a science fiction novel. There are these group of people called the Renegades, which are people born with superhuman powers, and they basically protect the world. But then we also have the villains, and so from my understanding, I believe it is one of the villains and one of the Renegades fall in love, and I'm very interested in this novel. It's huge. I'm very, very intimidated, but I can't wait to give it a try. Also, about the strand, I couldn't resist picking up Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller, which is actually the group book for the next upcoming Winter Biannual Bibliothon. I will leave a link to the Biannual Bibliothon in the description of this video, where you can learn more about the readathon that is happening January 20th to January 26th. But essentially, every round we pick a book and we all read it together, and then there is a live show at the end of the readathon. So Otherworld is our current pick. Truthfully, I don't really know much about Otherworld. I know it is a sci-fi novel. I know that there is a game called Otherworld involved, and that's really the extent of it. I'm definitely intrigued to read this one. For the Bibliothon, we've mostly stuck with contemporary novels for a group book and some fantasy, so it's nice to have a little bit of sci-fi in the mix. And as always, I'm super pumped to discuss this with the rest of the Bibliothon hosts and those of you who might be reading it with us during the next Buy No Bibliothon. So this pick really worked out for me during that shopping trip. Once Michael and I had finished filming that blindfolded book shopping video, I couldn't resist and I had to take advantage of the Strand's great prices, and so I picked up Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is the fourth and I believe final book in the Natural series. I have loved the Natural series for a very, 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 very long time. It is about this group of teens that are recruited by the FBI in order to go over and hopefully solve cold cases. The only way I can really sum this up is it's basically Criminal Minds in young adult fiction form, and it's fantastic. I love them so much, but I haven't continued with this series and I've been wanting to. I've just been lazy with getting the last book, and so I finally picked it up this month, and I'm definitely planning on finishing it very soon. I don't know if anyone else saw this, but during December, Amazon had like one day where there were so many great deals on books. Like Lady Midnight was like 90% off on the hardcover. So many people were tweeting about all of the awesome deals, and Dylan from Dylan the Reader, who's actually one of the other Bibliothon hosts, he told me that the Shadow and Bone new covers were on sale, and I literally got all 3 books for like $12, so I could not resist. I feel I really have gotten a handle on my book buying habits after my book buying ban, but when you show me a deal that good where I'm like, I am never again going to be able to buy these books at this price, I do get a little spontaneous. So I finally bought these. I actually have not yet finished the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I read Shadow and Bone years ago in like 2014. Really enjoyed it, and I am planning on continuing with it very, very soon. Siege and Storm is actually one of my picks for the Biannual Bibliothon that I'm going to be reading. That TBR is coming soon, so I know for a fact that this is going to be a worthwhile purchase because I am reading them in January, but I couldn't resist. I love these covers so much, and the Grisha world, the Grisha verse, is definitely a world I love from Six of Crows. So I'm very happy with this purchase this month. And the last book that I bought for myself in the month of December is Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kaysen. I was at Barnes & Noble studying for my last final, and I was sitting by the psychology section, so I decided to take a little look over there and see what books I want to start buying in the next couple of months. And very quickly I told myself, I need to leave here with 1 book to satisfy my craving, or else I'm going to walk away with like 10. So I decided to settle on Girl Interrupted because it is a book that I've been wanting to read for a very long time. Girl Interrupted is actually a memoir about the author's experience with a borderline personality disorder and the 2 years that she spent at a psychiatric hospital with other women. I have seen the movie adaptation of Girl Interrupted. I actually wrote a paper on it for my abnormal psychology class in college, but I never read the memoir, and after seeing how small it is and how much of an interest I have in this subject matter, I knew that I really wanted to pick it up, and this This is also a book that I'm planning on reading for the Buy No Bibliothon. I'm like sharing my whole TBR right now. But again, I am planning on reading it very soon, so I thought it was a justified purchase. I already know that I enjoy the story, but I'm very excited to get it from the source material. So I think it was my October book haul. I had bought the entire set, or almost the entire set, of Harry Potter in French at the Strand, but I was missing Prisoner of Azkaban, and I had quite a few you reach out to me saying you would offer to send it to me. I'm very, very grateful to all of you that offered, but I did get to talk to one girl named Celine who very kindly sent me a copy. We did a little book swap, so thank you so much to Celine for adding this to my collection. I really hope you enjoy The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. But yes, now my French set of Harry Potter is totally complete. I did read the first book, Sorcerer's Stone, in French in high school because I studied it for 5 years, and I would love to continue with the series and read the entire thing in French over my lifetime. I'm so pleased to have a full set of foreign books from the Harry Potter series in a language that I identify with so closely. I'm very excited that I have this, so thank you so much, Celine. So if you didn't know, although I have been mentioning it in almost every video for the last 2 months, I graduated this past December. And I had mentioned to my mom quite a while ago when we were in Barnes & Noble together, and I was like, oh, I think Oh, the Places You'll Go is like such a cute idea for a graduation book. So my mom surprised me on the day of my last final with Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. I wasn't the biggest fan of Dr. Seuss when I was a kid, but things like The Lorax and Oh, the Places You'll Go and Green Eggs and Ham, like they're such classics, and I just thought it was so wonderful that she remembered after all of those months that this was something that I had just thrown in and saying it was a cute gift. So she got it for me, so thanks so much, Mom. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to display this on my childhood books shelf. I have a few books I was sent from publishers and friends and authors this month. So the first is Meet Cute by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Danielle Clayton, Katie Catugno, Jocelyn Davies, Huntley Fitzpatrick, Nina LaCour, Emerly Lord, Catherine McGee, Cass Morgan, Julie Murphy, Meredith Russo, Sarah Shepard, Nicola Yoon, if he's a boy. This was sent to me by HMH Teen, so thank you so much to HMH Teen for sending it to me. This is essentially an anthology of different meet cutes, which is basically just the moment where two people meet for the very first time and they fall in love from there. It's written by all of these amazing authors, and I do know that there is a lot of diverse representation in this book, so I'm very excited for all of these cute short stories. I'm just such a sucker for a good YA romance, so I think Meet Cute is going to be a very enjoyable read. The next book was actually sent to me by the author herself, and that is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody, so thank you so much to Amanda for sending this book to me. Amanda's debut came out in 2017. It was called Daughter of the Burning City, if you've heard of it. It was one of my favorite books of the year, and so when Amanda offered me a copy of her second novel to review when it comes out this April 10th, I was so pumped. Ace of Shades is all about this girl named Ene whose mother has recently gone missing, so she has to leave her entire home, her finishing school, her reputation behind in order to go to the City of Sin to look for leads. Her only lead is a man named Levi, who is unfortunately a very unhelpful street lord and con man who has no desire to help her. Essentially, Ene and Levi go off looking for clues together, and Levi is captured by some old enemies and placed into this execution game where if you lose, you die. In order to save him and find her mother, Ene has to enter the game and submit herself to the City of Sin. I am so pumped for this story. It sounds very Vegas-esque because they're talking about casinos and cabarets and whatnot, and I feel like it has a lot of vibes that I loved about Daughter of the Burning City that I'm sure will translate well into this story. I'm really excited for it. You can definitely expect a review coming around April for this wonderful novel, but I cannot wait to read it, so thank you so much, Amanda, for sending it to me. The next book was sent to me by a very good friend of mine, and that is Zenith by Sasha Ellsberg and Lindsay Cummings, so thank you so much to both of you for sending me Zenith with some other really awesome swag, especially a bath bomb that was so good, let me tell you. I'm sure if you are watching my haul right now, you have heard of Zenith. It is Sasha and Lindsay's first debut as a co-author team. It is a science fiction space opera that follows a girl named Andy and her team of space pirates on their ship, the Marauder, where they traverse the Mirabel galaxy looking for missions. To sum it up, a mission goes awry, a bounty hunter from Andy's past appears, and the general that has had a warrant out for Andy's death for many years has sent her as well as his bounty hunter and their team off on their most dangerous mission yet. Their goal is to rescue the general's son from a high security prison on a different planet that they are at war at and return home so that Andy can win her freedom back. I'm a little over halfway through Zenith right now, and I'm really enjoying it. High concept fantasy is not really my thing, but there's just something about the characters mixed with the world and the plot of Zenith that is really working for me. I'm super excited to finish the rest of this book, and if any of you are going to Sasha and Lindsay's signing on January 19th at Artists and Flea in Soho, you should definitely come by because I will absolutely be there to support them in this wonderful book. But honestly, I'm really enjoying Zenith. I'm very happy I started to read it already, and I hope you guys enjoy it once it's out in stores this January 16th. And then the last two books in this haul were sent to me by Simon & Schuster, so thank you so much to Simon & Schuster for sending me Scythe and Thunderhead, which is books 1 and 2 in the Archibald Scythe series by Neal Shusterman. Simon & Schuster sent these to me as we are going to be working together for the release of Thunderhead, which comes out on December 9th, so I don't know if that video is already up and if you can go watch it or if it's coming up in a few days. Your girl does not know her upload schedule, but I had so much fun filming that video, so I hope you really enjoy it. The Archibald Scythe series is essentially a dystopian world where all negative things about human life have been eliminated, even death. So we have this process of gleaning where people called Scythe are able to end human life to control the population. Our main characters' names are Citra and Rowan, and they are tasked with being the apprentice to a Scythe, which neither of them really want. So it is basically all about their time being the apprentices, learning the process of gleaning and trying not to lose themselves within it. I am definitely excited to read Scythe. A lot of you have recommended it to me. I see it all the time in bookstores, and it's definitely a story I'm intrigued by. I feel like it's going to give me all of the good, like 2013 dystopian feels, but still have a modern touch to it, and I'm very excited to read it. So that really concludes my December book haul. I have bought / received some really wonderful books this month that I am super pleased with. Definitely let me know in the comments below what were some of your favorite reads or book buys or book received gifts that you may have gotten for the holidays in the month of December. That was a really terrible sentence, because I would love to know. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new video. Bye!